I think, are you on viewers?
Yes,
People
yes.
be viewing you.
Yes, we are on Facebook.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Yes. I hope you're well.
Well, if you look at my face will tell you that I'm not too well. I'm a very tired person. I've been out on the field for the past closely 4 weeks ago when I joined the running mates campaign team. After I got a clean bill of health from my doctors, I went for a review and they said, oh, now you can do some rounds. And so I thought that I could do some light work, but that light work has developed into something else. And the tour has taken us right from the Volta region to the northeast to Savannah, then to Upper West. During the Upper West tour of the running mate, I had to dash back to the Eastern region when His Excellency, our next president, was visiting the region. And as an indigene from the region, I had no
to be there.
Choice than to be there. So I came and spent 3 days there and quickly peeled off and then moved again to the northern region to join the running mates. And then from northern region, we came to central region. From central region, we went to Uti region. From Uti region, we zoomed back to central region. And last night, we put the ice on the cake by organizing a very mammoth rally at Commander, in the Commander Edna Iguafo Brim constituency, which is the constituency of the junior brother of our late president, John Evans Atamil. That's Atamil's constituency. And again, incidentally, the home region of the home constituency of Excellency, our next Vice President, Professor J. Nana Opoku Ajimai. And so it's been very tiring but rewarding because, I mean, when you get a feeling on the ground that the people have accepted your message and you get every indication that they are going to go all out and vote for the change that we need urgently because of the painful 8 years that we have. Even the word painful is mild. The excruciating 8 years that there's, clueless Veep Bawumia government has taken Ghanaians through. So you get a mixed feeling, a feeling of sadness and the feeling of joy. I mean, it's a mixture. You feel sad because when you go around and then the people tell you that for the past 8 years, I remember when we went to the Volta region and then we went to the Ho East, where our brother, Honorable, I forgot the name of the MP, but let me say that when we went to Ho East, and the Paramount Chief got up and said that all projects that were going on in the, I think it's Ho West, rather.
Ho West constituency. Okay. Beja
Ho West constituency. And that for the past 8 years, the projects had been abandoned and they have not seen any development in the constituency. And this thing ran through everywhere. So, and again, the road that we traverse on, I mean, even in the Volta region, the only good roads that we use was just the Sogakope Aflau Road. When you zoom in and you enter into Northtown, from Northtown to Southtown, the roads are bad. The interior road that took us to Kita, then brought us to Akachi North, and brought us through Akachi South, and everywhere that you pass, the roads were bad. And then we went through Ho. That's like the road to you have some good road from Sogakope to Ho, and then when you come to Ho and you zoom from Ho and you enter into the Ho West all the way to Peve, where you get a good road from the Peve to, the Eastern Corridor Road. Every road there is bad. Then we went to Southtown. This is Southtown.
No. Okay, so South Central, there's North.
No. Well, Peki area there is
Okay.
the Fiamma constituency.
The Fiamma, okay, that's south. That is south. South Dine. Yeah.
Went through South Dine, and then the route from South Dine all the way to the fishing communities over there. I mean, terrible. So you ask yourself, then people are touting themselves that they have constructed 12,000 kilometers of roads. Then I thought that I wanted to satisfy my curiosity. So let me hold on until I get to Northeast, which is Bawumia's own region.
Yes.
And then see at least maybe the 12,000 kilometers road. I will observe some 1,000 or some 500 there. We went to Northeast and it was a sorry sight. In fact, the whole Northeast has 6 constituencies. It has a Yagaba Kubori constituency. It has a Bunkpurugu constituency. It has the Yonyo constituency. It has a Chirponi constituency. Then you have Waliwale, and then the capital of the Northeast region, Narugu Gambaga.
Yeah.
The only good road is the one which link Waliwale to Narugu Gambaga.
Okay.
The moment you cross Narugu and then you enter into Yonyo Bunkpurugu, I mean, the dust was such that even the car in front of you, you can't even see a tail light.
That bad?
Extremely bad. You won't get a single. So I said, Dr. Bawumia, you are the running mate to, in fact, you are the mate.
Yeah.
You are the mate of the driver. So at least the driver didn't give you back pass. Because I know the drivers come from my area. And when you go to Chibi, the asphalt is double. In fact, double overlay. Even to cemeteries and to farmlands and all those, you have some asphalt that you can. So at least Akufo-Addo couldn't be so charitable to give you 1 kilometer of asphalt road to go and show to your people in Northeast that as a driver's mate, the man didn't give me anything, but at least I'm going to show you what asphalt looks like. So I'm just bringing 1 kilometer. I'm talking about 1 kilometer. Yeah. So I kept on asking myself that where is the 12,000 kilometers? Because I checked, and when I did some simple Google search, I realized that from Ghana to the US is 11,008 kilometers.
Ghana to the US.
Ghana to the US is 11,008 kilometers. So if you claim you have constructed 12,000 kilometers of road, it means that the stretch of road that you have constructed is longer than from here to the US. And from here to the US, when you take a supersonic, whatever it is, you take a jet, and you travel, it takes you 11 hours from Accra to New York. 11 hours. I think about 10 hours or thereabout. So you are telling me that the roads that I've constructed in this country is 12,000 kilometers, which means that if you put them together, you piece them together, it's more than traveling from here to the US. Where are the roads? Because I've gone around the country, and I'm not talking, I don't come and sit here and speak from my own imagination. This is, an experience that I have gone to see. And so in Northeast region, I want Dr. Bawumia. And ever since I started challenging them about these 12,000 kilometers of road, that propaganda has died down. And I haven't heard them saying it again. Because we can't see that 12,000 kilometers of road. And these are people who can lie through their teeth when everybody is complaining of bad roads. And then you move into Savannah, even a worse situation. In fact, we travel, when you want to travel from Tamale to Wa, which is connecting 2 regions. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama did the Ofosu Solar, road. When you get to Solar, between Solar and Wa, you can't imagine the type of road and the potholes and the manholes and you ask yourself that connecting 2 regions. So I kept on asking myself, I said, what really did the MPP government came to do in 12 years, in 8 years, after getting all the kind of monies that flowed into the budget. So the road network are bad. Again, I have heard Dr. Bawumia, and in fact, Today, I want to narrow down on that person called Dr. Bawumia because he wants to be president. And we have virtually sometimes let him, and somebody told me that their strategy is that the running mate will go around his mouth and then say all sorts of, in quote, F things. And then all the attention will go to him so that, the flag bearer will be, free because he goes anywhere and he says, God doesn't sleep. Tomorrow he says this. He goes on platform and then Sisifia is the more or less their campaign message that they are giving to people. But let us reflect. And I listened to the interview that young lady gave. And yesterday I was in the car when we were coming from Cape Coast. I took the opportunity to listen intensely. And I realized that lady was speaking the truth. What is confronting this country is about leadership. It's not about party. It's not about Osoro color. It's not about umbrella color.
Leadership.
It's about leadership. Who can lead this country from the front? Who can lead from the front?
From the front.
Yes.
Why is that important?
Because there are some people who are leaders, but you don't see them. And yesterday, I met some group in Cape Coast, and I was talking to some executives. I said that if you're a leader and you are moving and you look back and you don't have followers, then you are not leading. A leader must lead. And a leader must lead from the front.
Okay.
A leader must not... You see, a leader should not be somebody who is inconsistent, who flip-flops. In fact, in America, the moment they call you a flip-flop leader, then it means that you don't have what it takes to lead a very mighty country, a powerful country like America. And I have weighed Dr. Bawumia, and I agree with that lady that he doesn't have what it takes to be a leader. Look, the Bible even says that if you want to be a leader, first you must demonstrate it from your own domestic environment, from your home. Okay. You must be able to manage your home well. Do you know that in the MPP primaries, they did primaries in 275 constituencies? Because of SAR, now we have 276. Yeah. It was left with only one constituency. Which was the constituency? It was Walwale constituency. The MPP presidential candidate constituency. And you know who were the protagonists? It was somebody in his office who claims to be his economic advisor. I thought that the economic whiz kid doesn't need an economic advisor, but he had employed somebody who is an economic advisor. And then his own sister, blood sister, the two of them were contesting the Walwale seat. Dr. Bawumia couldn't show leadership. And then it created such a chaotic situation that they had to go to court, they had to come, they had to do a raid run. In fact, in that election, more than 500 policemen were deployed there. Even in the presence of this heavy deployment, somebody was able to snatch the ballot box, took some papers and characteristics of MPP. I think sometimes they want to use ballot papers as dessert because it happened in Parliament when, in the night, Honorable, what do you call it, Carlos Ahinkra,
yes.
I think he wanted some dessert and had to go and pick ballot papers and this thing happened. So you see, if you can't manage your own constituency, you can't manage your personal assistant and your sister and plunge the country almost into chaos to the extent that place is already a volatile area because of this Boku conflict and then, whatever it is. And look at what you took the security agencies and others through. He couldn't manage.
You blame that.
He couldn't manage.
He
couldn't manage it until the sister decided that I have seen that my brother doesn't have what it takes to bring peace into his own constituency. So I have withdrawn. That is the kind of person that we are looking at. Because if you can't manage your constituency, you can't manage the country. And don't say that he is as at now and as at the time that the primaries were being held, was the flag bearer and the leader of the party. So he couldn't exercise leadership in his own constituency.
You think he could have done something about
it? He could have done something about it. Because if I, sitting here for Ofosu Ampofo, I had my blood relation, sister or brother, contesting with somebody who is my personal assistant, what I would do is to call the two of them together and provide leadership. And so the question that kept lingering in my mind is that do they believe in the leadership and ability of Bawumia to lead the country? Because if they really believe that Bawumia will win the election, what are they fighting for? You are the personal assistant to somebody who is vying for presidency. So if you become the president, what do you need? The sister to your blood relation. If your brother becomes the president, so it means that they themselves, they don't believe that Bawumia will win the election.
That was the message you got from it.
I mean, that is what I deduce.
Okay.
Because I did logic and I tried to analyze the situation, and I realized that the two of them all believe that Bawumia will not win the election. So let's create a space for ourselves in the future, political space for ourselves in the future. That is what I see. And so I agree with that lady that Bawumia is not a leader. Bawumia cannot lead this country as commander-in-chief. Bawumia cannot be like His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, when in the face of Ebola virus, as the chairman of ECOWAS, he took ECOWAS, he led from the front, and he said that I'll confront the Ebola virus, and worked so hard that Ebola were able to stem it, and Ebola did not, that the pandemic, the so-called pandemic that we thought was going to devour us, did not happen. That is the kind of leader that we are looking for. We are looking for a leader who, in the first day of assuming office, can provide leadership for the African continent, can provide leadership for ECOWAS. He has done it before. He has been an ECOWAS chairman before. And I can assure you that Africa is looking for John Dramani Mahama, the kind of leadership that he provides. When you call Nigeria, you call other West African countries, everybody is saying that, look, what Ghana needs now is somebody in the caliber of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. So this election is about leadership. Please, people should forget about party colors. They should look at where this country is going. This country is in crisis. Every aspect of our country is in crisis. Every aspect. Education is in crisis. You remember only last week that the CHAS, Conference of Heads of Secondary Assisted Secondary Schools, issued a threat that they will close down schools because the children cannot get food to eat. And I heard one thing saying that they have mobilized some 50 million and they are sending. They are only managing crisis. This government has become like fire service, Ghana Fire Service. Ghana Fire Service. What they do is that they go and manage crisis. They go and put fire off, and are unable to resolve challenges. So, challenges on the labor front. There are challenges within the environment, which God has given to us to take care, have dominion over the environment and keep it. Look at what has happened to our environment. Look at what has happened to our water bodies. Where is Dr. Bawumia? What leadership has he provided? Bawumia has been given 3 key positions that, for me, by convention, maybe not by constitutional arrangement, by convention. Dr. Bawumia is the chairman of the Ghana Police Council. Have you heard that the recent Afro Barometer, the Ghana Police Service, is still one of the institutions that Ghanaians don't have trust in? Did you hear that?
Yes.
And he is the chairman of the Police Council. Do you know that Dr. Bawumia is the chairman of the economic management team?
Yes.
Do you know that he has run away from the issue of the economy? Do you know? And he's talking about digitization. And yesterday, digitization failed him woefully. If the videos that I'm seeing is anything to go by, he went to the airport to use some Ghana card or whatever card, to access some e-gate, and then the access was not provided. I mean, what kind of international embarrassment is this? What due diligence did they do? What simulation exercise did they do before sending the vice president and the presidential candidate to go embarrass him in that way? And I believe that, you see, when the odds are against you, whatever you do will not be successful. And that signal is that even nature and the forces within the environment are saying that enough is enough. Where Ghana has reached now, this is not the kind of leader that we are looking for. Have you heard Bawumia talking about corruption before?
No.
Have you heard him talking about corruption? This country is engulfed in endemic, rank corruption. And the person who wants to lead this country is not talking about corruption. Because Today, we have a country where a minister can keep millions of dollars, millions of Ghana cedis under the bed, and every attempt to ensure that justice, is exacted has been thwarted. And the president himself writes love letter to that minister and saying that I know you will be cleared. And today, they have used legal gymnastics and giving the money back to the president. I kept on telling people that the money that they are sharing, maybe that is not the only place that the money was being hidden under the bed. I've heard that somewhere in politics, somewhere. And so today, when you see monies being flying all over the place, why is it that in a country where contractors are not being paid, workers are struggling, and some of them go on demonstrations and strikes, and then they use still again the labor law and all this and stop them, and people are suffering. Look, when you take a human being, one of the fundamental things that we need in our life, and if you did management and then you did the Maslow law of it will tell you that there are 3 key things that people need. People need food, people need shelter, and people need clothing. Yeah. It is beyond that people will then be looking for security, self-actualization, and all those things. So every government responsibility is to ensure that food is put on the table for the citizens to eat. In Ghana today, food has become an essential commodity. And so we have a situation where people are developing formulas like football coaches. Some are using 4-3-3, some are using 4-2-4, some are using 4-4-2, and all those things.
Formula for food.
For eating.
For eating?
Yes. You haven't heard it?
4-2-2.
No. That one is the football one. Okay. We're coming to the food one. The food one is 0-0-1. That can be one of the formula.
Okay.
One is 0-1-0. One is 1-1-1, and another one which has come up now strongly through research is 0-0-0.
Nothing at all.
Can I explain it?
Okay.
The 0-0-1 means that when they get up in the morning, because there is no food and there's no money in their pocket, you don't eat in the morning, you don't eat in the afternoon, but because some of them feel that you can't go to bed on empty stomach, they eat in the evening. So that formula is 0-0-1.
Okay.
There's another group of people who say that, looking at the economic situation and my pocket, because kenke is now 5 cedis.
Yeah.
And the size of the kenke is such that if you want to eat to your satisfaction, at least you need 2, and at most you need 4, depending on
your ability.
Yes, your ability. So let's take the mean. So that is 2. It's 10 Ghana cedis. And I understand that the fish is now between 10 to 15. So let me also let's take 10. So the fish and the kenke is 20 cedis. Do you know the minimum wage is 18 cedis? So minimum wage cannot buy fish and kenke. And I heard a Greater Accra Regional Minister saying that gas need more than kenke. Ghana needs gas, and Ghanaians, the first thing is survival. In fact, if I can't get food to eat, what will interchange do to me? I will die. And I can't even access the interchange. So if you pride yourself that you are commissioning interchanges, when common food, you can't put it on the table for the people. So I've come to one. I said that Bawumia has failed as the chairman of the police council because of the research that have come, which shows that he has not managed it well. You see, this is the first time under Bawumia's administration that an IGP has to go to Parliament and be probed under a committee. It has made the police institution look very murky, to the extent that at the 11th hour, a deputy IGP has to be appointed, and then the government itself has to assign that deputy IGP a responsibility to do something which is contrary to the police regulations. Well, the government cannot appoint a deputy IGP and say that you are in charge of operation. Why are they running it? And this is Dr. Bawumia, under Dr. Bawumia's leadership. That is where the police has come to. So the IGP has been so undermined that if you were in the IGP shoes, it's like they were finding every means to remove him. But because Parliament intervened left, right, and center, they couldn't do that. But it has undermined the authority of the IGP. So that is. So I've taken the economic management, and I'm saying that economic management, the indicators are there. I mean, I am not lying. The indicators are there. The indicators are saying that, look, Bawumia said that he was coming to change the structure of the economy from taxation to production. And under Dr. Bawumia, in fact, if you buy food, go to the restaurant and buy food and take the receipt and look at the taxes on the food that you are eating. Look at the tax. You are paying COVID levy, you are paying NHI levy, you are paying whatever levy. They are all on the receipt. And so for a very long time now, I have decided to eat at home. Because if I eat at home, I save myself a lot of money. Because otherwise, the very little food that I'm going to buy at the restaurant, I'm going to pay about 6-7 taxes on it. That is Dr. Bawumia for you. They have tax, and today, even our women are at the mercy of Dr. Bawumia's economic management team. Do you know that women go through monthly cycle and that they need sanitary pads to take care of their sanitation needs? Under the NDC, we did not tax the women for buying sanitary pads. Dr. Bawumia and Akufo-Addo are taxing them. So even they are so callous and insensitive that every month, the little that the woman will save to take care of the hygiene needs, they are taking the money from the woman. And John Mahama says that I come and abolish that tax on sanitary pads. Then the other thing is also that Dr. Bawumia comes from the upper northeast region. And today the most volatile part of the country is the northeast region. He is the man in charge of the police council, and so internal security is under the police. Do you know that people are slaughtered like animals within the enclave of the Wali to Bolga to Boku and other areas? Whose responsibility it is to ensure internal security? It is the Ministry of Interior, the Ghana Police Service, and this Ghana Police Council is under Dr. Bawumia. So he has also failed woefully. So I am digesting the man Bawumia and asking Ghanaians to take away the rhetorics, the seminars and the economic what do you call it, that he organized in the universities. And remember the late Pakwesi Mesata, may he so rest in peace, said that look, managing the economy of the country is not textbook. It's about practicals. It's about hands-on. And so today, what do we see in the economy? We are stressed. Ghanaians are stressed. Ghanaians are dying. Dr. Bawumia came and announced, and I want everybody to listen to me, that 18 months into their reign or regime, no community will have water or sanitation problem. Do you know that everywhere I travel with the running mate, the recurring theme in the speeches that they gave was that we don't have water to drink.
Water.
I'm telling you, everywhere, in all the 8 regions that I talked with them, every speech that is given by chiefs, right down from the northern region, when we went to the Tolo area, when we went to the, Mayo area, and when we went to Yendi, and the great deception. Well, Ghanaians must sit up and should not make any mistake of bringing this government back, because the great deception is that even they have gone to lie to very respected paramount chiefs. Do you know that Akufo-Addo and Bawumia went and organized one of the most flamboyant sword cutting ceremonies for the Yendi Water Project?
Yendi Water Project.
Yendi Water Project.
Okay.
So when we go to the north and I go to Tamale and we're going to Yendi, I said I was not going to buy water because I want to go and have a taste of the Yendi water project that Akufo-Addo came and said it is one of the most capital, intensive project that we were organized. So I said, we shouldn't take water from Tamale because Yendi water project will be ready. I went to Yendi and I was looking for water. There was no water in Yendi.
Why?
Because he has deceived the people of Yendi. And that about 4 years of cutting the sword, spending all the state resources to cut the sword, the Yendi water project has not seen the day of light. That is not the end. But we come from the northeastern part of the country. And so he followed his boss. The mate followed the driver. And they drove all the way to Pualugu to go and cut the sword. And from Akufo-Addo's own, they say the biggest investment in the agriculture sector by any sitting government is what they are going to do in Pualugu irrigation. Today, $12 million have been sunk into the project. When we went there, you can only see some strip of sands and then some blocks that has been there. Nothing has been done. So where lie Dr. Bawumia, even for his own people who are living in abject poverty? And today, because of lack of rainfall, the farms have not done well. There's no food in the area. And the same government turns around to say that we need so much millions of Ghana cedis to go and import food. Billions to go and import food and go and share to the people. You see, Bawumia touts himself. I am on Bawumia. I won't go anywhere. I'm on Bawumia. When I finish that, I'll come on the electoral process and what I expect Ndc and Ghanaians to know what was going and what we should do. Bawumia said they are going to implement policies. And he thought himself, he said, I have brought 33 policies. And where Jomama, where is his policies? 0, 33 against 0. This one is not a competition. Let's go through the policies. I will just take a few. They came with planting for food and jobs. When you do policy, we know that we have policy formulation, policy implementation, policy evaluation, and then re-input to see to the redesign of the policy after you have looked at the impact and the outcome. So let us look at the policies. 1, planting for food and jobs. It is supposed to create jobs for the people. And they said we have created 700,000 jobs. Now, do you know that unemployment rate has risen from 8%, about 8.3 to 14.7%. So if I've created that much job, it stands to reason that the statistical indicators must go with the empirical evidence on the grounds. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you say you have a created employment, then there is no way that unemployment rate will rise. Will rise when employment opportunity or employment creation is also rising. You will then see that whilst the employment opportunity and rate is rising, then the percentage of unemployed youth will decline. So now we have a situation where 8.3 to 14.7. How can that give you an indication that you have created 2.6 million jobs in the market? So that one doesn't add up. So planting for food and jobs have failed because we can't even buy maize. Poultry farms have closed down. I mean, I want to say sadly, the other time I said I want to say sadly that I have been a poultry farmer for close to 30 years. Do you know when I started poultry? I started poultry in 1998. 1996.
Okay.
So I want to address the issue of Nkukon Kitinkiti.
Okay.
I went to trade fair. There was something called Indotech. Those of you who are grown a little, we're organizing Indotech 96, Indotech 98. Every 3 years they do Indotech. That is industrial and technological fair at the Ghana Trade Fair site. So I went there, and when I went there, I went to one of the wood industries. And then they have constructed what they call, in fact, that company was called 4 Winds Company Limited. It comes from Apremdo or Kwajukrum in the Western region.
4 wings.
4 wings, as in Ntaba.
Okay, 4 wings.
As in Ntaba, because then I went to their stand and I saw a hen coop that has been, constructed.
Okay.
And the hen coop had capacity. One of them is 100-bed capacity hen coop. Okay. One of them is 200 beds. One of them is 300 beds. One of them is 500 beds. So when I went to, and I prayed that gentleman is alive. He was a physically challenged person.
Okay.
So he called me and he said, I should come and look at this. And I said, so look, this hen coop, the way they have done it, this one can take 100 beds. But they have perforated the bottom, the trees, the wood in such a way that the dropping of the chicken, you can collect it under the hen coop and then use it to do, backyard vegetable farming and other. So it was an all-purpose system. So I went for the 100-bed capacity and took it to Bunsu, New System, in the Eastern region, and then started with 100 beds. I'm talking about Nkukon Ketinkiti.
Okay.
And through 100 beds in Nkukon Ketinkiti, I was able to raise a poultry farm of a capacity of 20,000 beds over a period of 20 years.
You started with 100?
100.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I'm not joking. 100. So when President Mahama comes and says that, look, we have challenges with proteins. As we are going to the Christmas, there are some families who cannot get chicken to eat. Because the chicken that they eat is coming from China and other places. You don't know how many years that frozen chicken has taken place and how they were processed and brought to us. As for us, the local people, if we want to chop Christmas, you have to see, go and catch a fowl and put a knife under the throat and see the blood flowing. And then even when we were children, even the head of the fowl, now you don't see it because the China one that comes, you can't see the legs, you can't see the head. But we were fighting over the head. And then you see that when you are eating akoko nkwai, you can feel the akoko in the nkwai. Today you go and buy some frozen chicken, which is about how many years old, and brought it. So President Mahama did it when I was local government minister. Together with the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, we did the broiler revitalization project.
Okay.
And I championed it because I was a poultry farmer and I said local government.
Broiler revitalization.
Yes. So together with Nungwa farms, we were giving money to Nungwa farms. The Nungwa farms will raise the day old, and then we will give it to the MMDAs to go and distribute it to local people and give them feed. And then sometimes we ask them to do what we call free range. So we do it about 6 months or 4 months to the Christmas. And so when you do the free range with the broilers, by Christmas time, if you took 20 or 30, you have them very big running around. And so you can sell about 10 or 20 to augment the family budget. And you can enjoy proper chicken soup, during Christmas. And this is what the NDC did. And I personally was involved in doing it. And so when President Mahama was talking about Nkukon Ketinkiti, I mean, he wanted to talk about day-old chicks.
Yes.
And they wanted to talk about Nkukonma. And he's not an account person. So instead of Nkukonma or day-old chicks, he said Nkukonma. And then Dr. Bawumia has gone around there ridiculing President John Dramani Mahama. Let's ask Dr. Bawumia another. He should tell me how many poultry farms are operating now. I am in the poultry industry. I am a member of the Greater Accra Poultry Farmers Association.
Okay.
And I've been a member for several years, almost more than 2 decades. And I cannot tell you that several poultry farms have closed down.
Are you also operating?
Me, my own 2 years ago, I don't have a single bed on my farm.
Not one, from
Not
over 20,000.
Yes, I'm telling you. I went there recently and I wept. Because you see, maize is so expensive. A bag of maize is selling about 900 to almost 1,000 Ghana cedis.
1 bag of maize?
Yes. And when you go and put the feed together and you buy all those things, and you buy the day-old chicken is now about 12 Ghana cedis per one. When we were buying, it's about 3 cedis. So you buy about 10 to 12 Ghana cedis day-old chicken, and you come and breed them, and then, at the end of the day, when you put all the things together, I was worried because at a point in time, I didn't want to put out my workers out of job. Okay. So I thought that, look, let me just keep the farm running. And I was spending almost about 10,000 Ghana plus subsidizing the farm every month.
From your own pocket?
From my own pocket. And I said, I read a management book by Professor Adai, and he said that if you are doing business and you are borrowing money to run the business, then you are a stupid person. So I went and told my farmers, my workers, that I have realized that I'm being too stupid. So I would rather close down the farm and leave skeletal staff. And that skeletal staff that are working now, I spend about 3,600 Ghana cedis to keep them there, to keep cleaning the place and putting body and soul together. That for me is better than spending over 10,000 and then running at a loss. And it is not me alone. The poultry farmers that I know all over the place, their farms have closed. So if John Mahama is talking about bringing back this lofty idea of day-old chicks supporting farmers, and I can't wait to see these policies be implemented, because me too, I'll benefit from it. And when my poultry farm is running, it's not running for me. Christmas.
So you intend to go back into poultry?
Yes, I'll go back, because the infrastructure there, I spent a lot of money to put the infrastructure there. And I have, brooder houses that can brood about 10,000, 6,000 birds at a go.
Oh,
and that's
huge.
I have the facilities that can take 20,000 birds. So why should I? And now they are in ruins at the mercy of the weather. So when President Mahama comes in and implements, I am a farmer, I will enjoy it. And I'm saying that I don't enjoy because around this time of the Christmas, the workers at Bunsu Cocoa College, Cocoa Research Institute, and all those around that part of Eastern region book their broiler and chicken supplies in advance. So they come and take them in quantities. Today, the farm is empty. We can't supply eggs. Not a single egg can we supply.
Nothing at all.
Now today, those who are surviving in the poultry farm industry are the people at Doma area. And they are surviving because they get their supplies from Cote d'Ivoire. They are able to cross the border and get supplies from Cote d'Ivoire. Okay. And the prices of the inputs in Cote d'Ivoire are so reasonable that they are able to break even. So
they have to go across the border.
I'm saying that all the eggs that you see, cars have come from Doma every day in the morning. They come to Achimota area there and offload eggs for people to go and buy. That is the situation that we find ourselves in. So in terms of policies, Dr. Bawumia is just talking about theories, policy. We have done this policy. So as if planting for food and jobs have failed, rearing for food and jobs or for employment and whatever has failed. Again, one village, one dam has not worked, because we went around the whole of the 5 northern regions, and now everywhere that I go, I say, can you show me one of the one village, one dam? It is not in existence. Some of the places have become dry that people play football on it. So that one has also failed. Then Dr. Bawumia came and said that one constituency, $1 million. For 8 years now, every municipal, metropolitan, and this assembly should have had $8 million under that policy. That policy to Yamutu. Because even some of the assemblies, how to survive and buy fuel into their vehicle has become a problem. You go to the assemblies are agents of development. You don't see any development there because monies don't even go there. They have decided that the decentralization that we have spent so many years, over 20-something years to implement decentralization, they've started re-centralizing. So the common fund, which is supposed to go to the district, to go and develop the district, somebody sits in Accra and decide how to use the common fund. So the funds are not following functions. But under a decentralization, in order to ensure that development takes place, we implemented what we call the fiscal decentralization, which means that funds should follow functions. Okay. When you give functions to these assemblies to do, it must be followed with funds to enable them to execute and implement those things. It is not going. If that $1 million per constituency had gone, this country would have been a paradise by now. But it's a mirage. That one too is a failure. So you look at all these things. You look at agriculture sector. You look at the cocoa industry. When His Excellency John Dramani Mahama was living, under Dr. Opuni administration, we had almost hit 1 million tons of cocoa production for the country. We had implemented the free fertilizer program. We have implemented the revitalization of the cocoa industry because the cocoa trees were aging, and so there was a massive, production of seedlings, and the seedlings are supplied free of charge to the farmers. And then the fertilizers were being used to fertilize the lands that have been there, and the cocoa trees were not bearing fruit. Pollination has started, and they were doing pollination in order to increase cocoa per tree, the yield of cocoa per tree. All these were measures that were put in place by Cocoa Board to ensure that cocoa, which is the backbone of our economy, keeps on sustaining the economy. Today, cocoa production has plummeted to under 500,000 metric tons. So can you see what Dr. Bawumia and Akufo-Addo has done to this country? From 1 million tons, it has gone below 500 metric tons. And that is why our CD is wobbling like the way it is. Because you see, the cocoa syndicated loan, a loan, which sometimes was about between 2 to 3 billion US dollars, was the one which serves as, a bulwark that keeps the CD stable, because once you have that in your foreign exchange account, you are able to use that money to support the CD, and then the CD does not fluctuate too much. But now you don't have the money. They couldn't even raise a syndicated loan this year. The chief executive of Cocoa Board came and lied to Ghanaians that, this time they want to use domestic means. How can you use domestic means? People have lost so much confidence that syndicating the loans to support the dollar exchange rate, they couldn't do it. That is why there's free fall of this dollar. So in terms of management of the economy, the agricultural sector, food security, water supply, irrigation, everything is bad.
Chairman, a few things. Now, this is the Dr. Bawumia himself. In fact, when he said he implemented 33 policies, he was talking about policies that he said he can credit to himself, not to the entire government. He mentioned the issuance of the Ghana card, making the Ghana card an international civil aviation organization certified travel document for travel to Ghana. He also talked about the Ghana Post Digital Property Address System, mobile money interoperability, and using the Ghana card number as tax identification number, SNIT, and National Health Insurance Scheme number. He continues to talk about paperless port digitalization of the passport office. I think as for the ports aspect, is something that you know personally about. Digitalizing of the passport office, the motor insurance database, the Ghana.gov platform, e-pharmacy, zipline medical drones delivery, digitalization of tax filing, no guarantor student loans with Ghana card, one constituency, one ambulance, agenda 111. The Sino Hydro Barter agreement, provision of hydroxyurea and NHIS for sickle cell patients, and the Zongo development plans. It continues. 33 policies that he can personally credit.
Okay, so let me start from Z. Zongo development fund. You say about $500,000 will be put in the Zongo development fund every year. Have you seen it in the budget?
No.
The Zongo development fund is Yamutu. It's dead. It's dead. And let me also tell Ghanaians that Bawumia didn't start Ghana card. In fact, I remember very, very well. I took my Ghana card, my first Ghana card. I didn't take it during Bawumia's time. I took it under John Mahama's time. I took my first Ghana card there. And then when Dr. Bawumia, MPP, took office after 7th January 2017, one of the first meetings that Dr. Bawumia had was to have a meeting with the NIA. Kwame Griffiths was then the executive secretary to brief Bawumia where they have gotten up to with the Ghana card issue. At that time, Ghana card was being issued. Look, he talked about mobile
money interoperability.
MTN are celebrating 15 years of Momo. Where was Bawumia? I mean, it's a simple question though. MTN are celebrating 15 years of Momo operation. How old is Bawumia's government? This one they meet to I'll ask. It's 8 years. So when did mobile money start? And when did Bawumia come into the fray? So he's lying. He's completely lying. Mobile money was in operation. And look, I can tell you that digitization is an international phenomenon. You can't run away from it. And the backbone for digitization in this country was put in place by John Dramani Mahama. The 1,000 kilometer fiber optics from Adan to Boku was put in place by John Dramani Mahama. The digital center, all the infrastructure that are needed to ensure that there is a takeoff in the digitization was put in place by John Dramani Mahama. The Accra Digital Center. Then NCA, look at their NCA towers, where all the systems have been placed there, and go to all the regions. All the regions have imposing edifices for NCA, and these were the drivers of digitization. What has he added? He hasn't added anything. Ghana card was in operation, and today anywhere that you travel in across the world, e-passports and cars and all those things are being operated. And ever since COVID came, because COVID came, and there are people today who don't even go to physical work environment to go and work. They work from their laptops and computers. So ICT digitization has become the order of the day. But I'm saying that the backbone infrastructure was put in place by John Dramani Mahama. But we should tell us how much fiber optics he has added. What has he done beyond Accra Digital Center and all the infrastructure that was put in place by? So that one too is something that you can. So I'm asking that when the man says that I was the driver's mate, and so I was not part of the policies, and so give me the chance to come and handle the steer, he goes cherry picking. Where it is to his advantage. He said, oh, I mooted the idea. Do you know that this drip project of the road equipment, he said, oh, he's the one who mooted the idea and did everything. But when the Common Fund Administrator was reading his speech on the day of the inauguration of those equipment, he said that he did it together with the Parliamentary Committee on Local Government and other. But I also want to, and Bawumia says that this is the first time. It is not the first time. As a local government minister, I spearheaded the implementation of road equipment supplied to MMDAs. In fact, I went to Germany myself, Hanoi in Germany, to go and negotiate for the HB equipment, which came. You remember that they were parked at the free zone enclave. And when we had challenges with Odo, Silton and others, Ibrahim Mahama engineers and planners went for some of those machines to come and desilt those, this thing free of charge for us. And then later on, it was distributed to some of the regions. In fact, the Human Security Department of the National Security were constructing roads and others to support deprived communities and emergency. They were all from the road equipment that we went. It was President Mahama who sent me to Hanoi in Germany. Where I went, they say it used to be East Germany around that time. I went and inspected as a local government minister. I came to Parliament, and then Parliament approved a 30 million euro facility that was used to bring those equipment there. So Dr. Bawumia cannot tell us that he is the one who came out of that idea and it's a novel idea. It has not happened before, blah, 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 blah. It is not the first time. It has happened before. And at that time, every local government unit or district assembly was given a grader. Some of them were given tipper trucks and others. And then there was the concept that we would design a zonal centers where you take about 5 districts and you set up a zonal center so that. And one of the things that I was spearheading was the decentralization of the feeder roads department, so that even road construction, you see our potholes, when potholes are developed, we wait until they turn into manholes before we fix them. And so when you construct a road and potholes start developing, if we will decentralize that aspect to the district, because every district has a certain road network within their district. So you build the capacity, you go and use the equipment. When the potholes are coming, catch them young, seal them in the night, by the next morning, and the longevity of the roads can be guaranteed. These are things that we started, and I believe that we are going to continue under the next administration. So personally, I don't think that Dr. Bawumia has achieved much in terms of his touted 33 policies that he says he has spearheaded. And in any case, if you come out of policies, what is most important is that what are the policy outcome and the policy impact. The policy impact is what the people feel as a result of your policy implementation. If the people say they can't get water to drink, then it means that your policy of ensuring that no village or community will
go without
water or this thing is a mirage. Today, as we speak now, the recent research shows that 8.4 million Ghanaians go hungry without food every day. For every day, out of the 33 or 34 million Ghanaians, 8.4 million go hungry without food. For me, it's an indictment on us, even those of us in the political class, if we can put food on the table for the people. So I want to assure Ghanaians that as we move into this election, these are the factors that must influence our decision. The factors that about 80%, over 80% of Ghanaians think that this country is going in the wrong direction. If 80% of Ghanaians think that this country is going in the wrong direction, then for me, it will be a miracle for MPP to win the next election. It will be a miracle. Because 80%, over 80% think that the country is moving in the wrong direction. And they are the people who are going to do the voting. That is why this issue of vote buying, and I want the agencies responsible to be up and doing. Because what happened in the security,
the special
voting, if it is anything to go by, then we are in trouble.
Okay. We'll have to take a break. When we come back, we'll tend to the elections, the upcoming elections, and what needs to be done. He's already raised the issue of vote buying, which we have been discussing for the past 2 days. Well, so guest in studio, Honorable Samuel Ofosu Ampofo, former chairman of the National Democratic Congress.
Wafa, send us